Hello friends, this is Suren once again with you with lots of love, with lots of good wishes. Today we are going to talk about failure of relationships. Why relationships fail? What is the reason that at one time the relationship is so deep, so strong, and all of a sudden something happens and the love is no more there? One of my good friends once told me that Suren, love is like medicine. Medicine heals. Medicine gives us health. Medicines makes us happy. Medicines gives us a reason to love. But every medicine has an expiry date. Similarly, love gives us a reason to live. Love gives us health. Love gives us so much. But love also expires. There is no logic, there is no science, there is no reason. You don't know. Something happens and love dies overnight or maybe in a moment. You can't say why. It just fades away. It happens so many times. We feel that we love somebody, and 2 or 3 days after, or 6 months, or 1 year after, or 2 years, or 4 years after, you don't feel the same. You don't know why. There is no reason, there is no drawback, there is nothing, but then you don't know. Natural death of love. Another reason that has been observed as for the failure of relationship or the love is there is too much expectations from one or the other side. We have a lot of expectations from one another, from the both sides. Man from the woman, woman from the man, boy from the girl, girl from the boy. The burden of the expectations is so much that the love or the relationship gets suffocated with that burden. You want to talk to the same person, you want to go to the movie with the same person, you want to go out and have the dinner with the same person, you want the other person to do this for you, you want to do that, the other person to do that to you, you want the other person to praise you, you want the other person to care for you. Expectations are so many. Like as I said, the burden of the expectation suffocates the person. So that is one. Another thing which is observed is that with the physical age, we all change. Our age, our energy, our emotions. The love of a boy of 20 years is different from love of a boy or a man of 27 years or 34 years or 51, 41 years. They call it 7 years itch. Every 7 years, so much changes. There are so many physical changes that happens. So with the age, we mature and the love also mature. And sometimes that maturity kills the relationship or change the relationship. And when the relationship changes, we can't compromise with that changed one, and we feel that the love has died. So that is another reason. One more very important reason and very common reason is people, the third person. It could be a family member, it could be a brother, it could be a sister, it could be a mother, it could be your father, it could be a girlfriend, like girlfriend outside the relationship, the third person. But many people are seen fighting because of the third person. Some people just fight over parents. Some people just fight over brother and sisters. Some people even fight for colleagues. You're not respecting my colleague, you're not going to their parties, this, that. There is a third force which is there, which becomes a major force in disagreements, and that becomes a reason for the bitterness to follow and ultimately the relationship suffers. So this third person or the outsiders are a major cause for the relationships to break. Let's talk about one more reason, and that reason is that there is too much of dependence on people. When I say too much of dependence on people, means on one another. You want to have a vacation, you must have your partner with you. You want to go for shopping, you must have your partner with you. You want to go for some ceremony within your family or something, you really want to drag your partner into it, whether the other partner is willing or not. For everything, you want to have a sleep, you insist that your partner must sleep. And then you say that if that is not what it is, then why did I get into a relationship? But then what you are not understanding is that this too much of dependence is suffocating the other person. And when a person gets or feels suffocated, the relationship gets suffocated too. Right? So this suffocation of the person, his or her interests, kills the relationship or make the relationship suffer, and the love disappears from the relationship. Sometimes it has been noticed that you love somebody or you get into a relationship because you really are in awe of somebody. Somebody is so beautiful because of the eyes, because of the hair, because of the face. It could be the figure, it could be the body, right? The reason, it could be money, it could be power. Like a person is very well settled in business. He or she has cars and he has powers, or he's a minister, or blah blah blah. Like there could be so many reasons. Now the very same reason disappears. For example, you marry a girl or a person who's very handsome, but after a few years the beauty fades. You get into a relationship or you really like a person because he was doing very well in his life, and the time changes and that person's life goes upside down. That reason of falling in love or loving somebody or making a relationship, it is not there. That relationship, the reason of the relationship disappeared. So when the reason of the relationship disappeared, the relationship also got disappeared or suffered or died. So that is a very, very common reason which has been noticed. What do we learn out of it? All this, like we know the reasons. So first of all, like in my opinion, there is no space for anyone else in the relationship. Also, that there needs to be a lot of space for both the partners to grow in a relationship. Dependence should be least. Company should be, or presence should be enjoyed, but it should not be mandatory. The other person must be allowed to have his or her own life. And also with the time, we should not only grow out of each other, but we should also allow our love to grow in different directions. Like as I said, not just on beauty, not just on money, not just on power, not just on, we should admire the person, or we should fall in love again and again for different reasons, not just one reason. There should never be one reason to remain in the relationship. And once again, there should be no place for the third one, whether it is father, mother, even children. Sometimes the relationships suffer because of children, right? Because there is no space. So one has to be very smart if we have to keep our relationships and keep our love alive, we have to be very, very smart. We have to be very, very loving. Thank you very much for listening to me today. I'll be back with one more topic, with one more opinion of mine. I love you, and I assume you guys love me too. I'll be back. Allow me to sign off now. I am Suren. Thank you.